Hello and welcome back to Crosshatch Puzzles. We're here for another in the car edition of the New York Times Daily Crossword Solve. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, and I'm back solving the puzzle from this past Sunday, March 29th. I'm in a considerably less peaceful location than I usually am, so I hope the background noise isn't too distracting. But either way, we're looking at a Sunday puzzle, which has an enlarged grid and intricate theme. It's called Roundabouts, and you can see already in the puzzle these visual depictions of roundabouts as you might have at traffic intersections. So we'll see how that is supposed to affect the gameplay for this Sunday's puzzle. It's a construction collaboration between Michael and Oliver Schlossberg, a father and son pair. Oliver apparently only 15 years old and making his New York Times debut. Michael, an experienced constructor. So congratulations to Oliver. And we'll see what they have in store for us today for this puzzle for Sunday, March 29th. Let's get solving. Max. Probably we're looking for maximum here. Probably the noun form, but maybe the verb. I'm not sure. Play part. Probably an act is part of a play. Alternative to a .doc, a document file, maybe a PDF. In Norse myth, world held up by the branches of the tree Yggdrasil. Is this Asgard, the sort of abode of the gods, the Norse gods? You sure? Question mark. So we want an equivalent phrase since this is in quotations. I'm not sure what we want there. Camera type in brief, probably an SLR camera. What's that? Something reflex. It's been a while since SLR has been in the grid and I've had to remember what it stands for. I'll have to look it up. Maker of the old flying cloud auto. Is this REO maybe? I'm not confident, but maybe. Conical dwelling, probably a TP. World War I helmet. Oh, I don't know. At it, maybe fighting or something like that. I'm going to check some downs now. Concerning, might be as to. Pertaining to genetic copies. Clonal? Would you want an adjective form? That seems as good as anything else. Sporkle or Jeopardy World Tour. Do we want trivia games or something? And I'm not sure how this is going to be affected by the roundabout. So I'm going to put that much in and see if it works. This could be toiling. So at it instead of fighting could mean at a difficult endeavor, job. A geezer could be an old fogey, so the toiling looks good. Response to gracias could be de nada, sort of the Spanish equivalent of de rien. It's no trouble, basically. Orbits competitor. Okay, so actually, it's only highlighted up to here. So I wonder, traveling for pleasure informally on vacay, I think is what we want there. Orbits competitor. What was orbits? I don't even remember. Targeted. Just could be aimed. Price. So orbits like a consumer digest kind of something? I don't really know. Entertainer's creation at a child's birthday party. Balloon animal. Is this upside down? Huh. Maybe. Anora's nickname in Anora was Ani. Trivia. What? Huh. Religious title that translates to ocean monk. Is this the Dalai Lama? Makes sense. Many a hedge fund hire in brief, probably an MBA. German rifle maker, not a clue. In check. Not sure. Alternatives to zippers on blue jeans. Not buttons, zippers. Alternatives to zippers on blue jeans. Unsettle. Speed skater. Oh no, I don't know. Make over as a factory. To retool? Rejig? Artful. Deft, possibly? Seized with the teeth. Seized with the teeth. The office. Oh, here is the office accountant. That's Angela, but anyway, okay, we'll just put that in. Office accountant who kept a cat in her desk drawer. It's a funny clue. Internet influenced writing genre. Internet influenced writing genre. What? Oh boy, rubbish. Something, trash, something. Is there any of this that I can get? Am I wrong about Asgard? Am I wrong about TP? Both seem to fit with deft. Okay, what about nevertheless? Could just be but. Mammals also known as fire foxes. Pandas, red pandas? Maybe? Star Wars title, Darth? Is that what we want there? A title of a person, not a title of a film. Priceline? That seems like it might be a thing. Condition treated with a CPAP machine is sleep apnea. Where are we getting the balloon from? Tots, pups. Tots meaning children. I guess pups could be dadas or something like that. The Orioles on a scoreboard. Aha, here they are. BAL for Baltimore. Humming. Humming. Could be dadas, maybe. Oops. Father of Zeus, Cronus. Maybe like that. I'm not confident about the spelling. Humming could be a buzz, possibly. It's a lot of Z's here. No man's land for short. Oh, the demilitarized zone. Tired old advertising mascot. Something man. Good heavens. I don't know. Kendo or Aikido. These are both martial arts. Well, so one of them would be a martial art. Would that work here? The Rock is another name for the prison Alcatraz. Art might be okay here. Early empire builder could be an Inca. Incan Empire. Q. What kind of Q? What a pictogram of a man with a walking stick might indicate. Man with a walking stick. Gertrude, who swam the English Channel. I literally just read about this last night. And I remember the name being unusual, but I cannot remember what it is. Like Adurdi or something like that. Use mouthwash, say. Not rinse? Oh, God. The blank is... Japanese comic style is manga. Part of OTOH, on the other hand. Other is what fits there. Does this help us with these? Max. I don't see it. You sure? That's so, maybe? Flour in Indian cooking is atta. The blank is, the thing is, you could say, the maxed, or max, you could say at most, maybe? That doesn't look good, actually. Common vessel, oh, actually it could be. Common vessel for a cosmopolitan, some kind of glass. The World War I hat, helmet also called a tin hat. Glass, oh, to gargle, okay. Complete wreck is completely wreck is to total a car. Gargle. Okay, so what kind of glass? A martini glass, maybe? Does that work here? Convenience store is a mart. And then where is the rest of it? Is it here? Martial art? Okay. And then here. Stickler for military discipline. Martini. Where is this coming from? Had a couple of brats. Had a couple of brats. 8 sausages, for instance. So what is this? Martinet? Hotmail alternative. AOL? Is that what we want? Ederly, maybe? So BAL, fancy dress as a ball gown. And then they're cast in November, ballots. And then balloon animals. Okay, so it must be martinet. I've not heard of that, but I'll explain what's going on at the end, I think. Unlikely best in show winners in a dog competition, probably mutts. Four Cornered tribes that they Ute or Ute, I'm not sure you say that. Company that made Missile Command, is that an Atari game? Heart on one sleeve, perhaps in brief. A tattoo might be, you might put a heart on a sleeve tattoo. Mark down, say, to re-tag a piece of merchandise. A trailhead, a pictogram of a man with a walking stick, the beginning of a trail, a walking trail. A Q could be a signal. Good heavens could be Oh Lordy, maybe? Let's see. Longest book in the Book of Mormon, Act something. That seems weird to have this as well as 7 across. Levi's competitor, I don't know. Should know. I've had this clue a lot, and I don't... Isn't that Lee's jeans or something? I can't remember. Grazing places are Lee's. Potters, for example. Craftspeople or something. Classic Andy Warhol subject. Campbell's soup can. Yoga poses and asana. Still fighting. Potters, for example. Prepares to skate, say, laces up their skates. Still fighting. I don't know. Oh, tired old... No, we want... That starts here. Wisconsin neighbor. Michigan. Maybe Michelin man. One of the Obamas, Michelle. Brand from Anheuser-Busch is a beer company. Probably Michelob is a name of a beer. And then I think we want the Michelin man here. Oh, Lordy. It must be Lordy, though I don't see what this could be then. Still fighting. In it, maybe? Like still in the match, maybe. What? Marilyn Monroe? Did Andy Warhol paint Marilyn Monroe? Levi's competitor, is it Lee? Long lost book in the Book of Mormon, Alma? Oh, potters, for example, ceramics? Ceramicist? Does look like Lee jeans, maybe. What not to wear to a wedding? It's said white. You're not supposed to wear white to a wedding if it's a traditional, Western wedding where the bride wears white. Word with cooler or country. Wine cooler or wine country. Garage band platform is probably iOS. I think is what we want there. Real comedian, maybe a hoot. As if, not, maybe? Ceramists. Oh, a plural, okay. Purported sighting recorded by Puritan Governor John Winthrop in 1639, ETs, and then, a UFO probably, and then occupants of a UFO or ETs. Okay, let me put in the UFO. Okay, what do you do when you tour a certain SoCal campus phonetically? You see LA. Very funny. Hammer part, the peen, sort of the ball. I looked this up. I saw this in a grid a few weeks ago, and I looked it up, and I can't even remember what it is. Which part of the hammer is the peen? There's a type of hammer called a ball peen hammer, and I guess that's the ball, maybe the peen's the other side. I really don't know. Clinch to ace, maybe. Rental on moving day, probably a van. Unexpected upsides. Salvations doesn't fit. Gooey treat, maybe a s'more. Turn into logs to saw up a tree, maybe. Cut finely to mince, as in garlic. Gray or yellow, perhaps. What? To age. Things can age by graying or yellowing, possibly. Purple smoothie add-in is an acai berry. A flaky fish, a cod. A passport to human development per the United Nations, education. Odd numbered page is recto. The even numbers are verso. Carnival locale familiarly is Rio for Rio de Janeiro. Hither and yon. Here and there, basically. Muse of history. The Greek muse of history is Clio. Leader ousted in 1955. Perron, probably. Branch is an arm of like an arm of a government. Yeah. Some expensive suits. Armani's, maybe. French brandy is... let's see it. And then it's the end of the world. Armageddon. Armageddon. Okay. And we want then a G here. I don't see what the brandy is. Oh, this... no, okay, so to clinch is to ice, not to ace. That's fine. We want silver linings then. Unexpected upsides. Silver linings. Spleen. I don't know. Real comedian. Another real comedian. Riot, maybe? Group on the right, the GOP, the Republican Party. Riot, maybe. Is this ire? Spleen? Ire? To notice is to aspire. I guess this must refer to the sort of the idea that certain emotions come from certain bodily organs, and or maybe anger comes from the spleen. I'm not sure. Mass pardon is a amnesty. Armagnac, maybe? That sounds like it might be true. Polynesian title heroine of film, Moana, I think. Provoke is to goad. Polishes as a text, edits a text to polish it. Vegan cooking staple, tofu. Moccasin, for example, it's an example of a shoe. Nickname derived from the Hebrew name Shoshana, Susanna, Sue. How neat. How neat. I don't know. Ooh, oh, you could say, how neat. Ooh. Unshakable. Don't see it. Show that inspired the famous misquote, just the facts, ma'am. I feel like it was a detective kind of show, but I can't see what it is. Typical high schooler, probably a teen. Utah ski town, do we want Alta? Predator that might hunt by electrolocation is an eel. Tenacious, unshakable, tenacious. Dragnet. Okay, fine. Drink suffix could be an aid, like a lemonade. Carne asada. Oops. Carne asada. Are you really gonna make me? Don't gotta. Nope, that's not it. Are you really gonna make me? I don't see what that is then. I would have thought don't gotta, but it's not. To long for. To hanker for, maybe? More cheerful and lively. Something Xenon and Krypton, for example. Mayor Pete is Pete Buttigieg. Do I gotta? Don't gotta. Do I gotta? I was close. Lead into futurism. Afrofuturism is a certain sort of artistic philosophy, political philosophy. Most prevalent. Rifest? That's a little weird. These are gases, right? What kind of gases? Prefix with dermis. Epidermis is a name for your skin. It says Hauser. Rare gases, that could work. Perkier, more cheerful and lively. And this does look like it's going to be most prevalent. Rifer doesn't actually fit. Tree cluster. A copse is a name for a... Oh, rifest. Sorry, I forgot what the clue was asking for. A Greek English letter that looks like a Greek row. A P, I think. A Greek row looks like a P, yeah. Spot in the Bible. Spot. What do we want there? Spot in the Bible. I don't know. 2020? 20 over 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1. They're over 2 feet. Your knees are both literally over your feet. Okay. Buttocks, rear end, buttocks. So, ceased? C street? Spot in the seest. Oh, I spot something, or thou seest. I think that's what that they're just looking for an archaic form of the word to see. So buttocks, here we got Buttigieg, we got buttocks, and then what is up here? Button something. I don't see what the rest of it is. This does look like it might be Hauser. And I had trouble with this before, so I wonder. Unsettle. This is not going to be rejig. Maybe it's not deft. Seized with the teeth. Which one of these could be wrong? Conical dwelling, I'm pretty confident about. So what if I took the other one out? Alternatives to zipper on blue jeans. Button. What do you call them? Unsettle. To unsettle. To... Speed skater. Oh no. I just don't know who that is. Makeover as a well, the R actually does look okay. To make over as a factory. What if rejig is right? What if Asgard is right? What if it's not deft? Seized with the teeth. No, that does not look right. Seized with the teeth. In check. At bay? Seized with the teeth. I don't like that for rubbish, though. Oh, man. I'm just stuck here. Unsettle. As a factory, to make over as a factory. Artful. Buttonholes? What does that help me do? No, that doesn't look good there. Maybe it's not Hauser? German rifle maker. Well, then I would have wanted something like hogwash here, but... Well, I'm going to have to pause it. I'm very disappointed about this. I understand the theme. I've got all but these handful of clues in this corner, and I just can't seem to make any progress into here. Seized with the teeth. Seized with the teeth. Like nothing. I want like gnawed or jawed or I just can't think of how this is not going to be a D at the end, unless it's something like something at, you know, like tore at or something like that. But a D or a T doesn't make sense here, not with Asgard. I mean, if I erased Asgard, then maybe, but even so, artful. But the F from deft doesn't make sense here either. Unless it's something off. To refit a factory? Seized. Bit off, maybe? To get on, to unsettle? What if this is at bay? What could this possibly be? Rubbish. Oh, alt-lit, internet-influenced writing genre? Apollo? Get to unsettle, to get to. Button flies? Rubbish. My foot. Is this Mauser? Apollo? Let's see. Oh, goodness. Somehow I was able to do that without having to... I mean, I just somehow was able to get to break through that. Sorry about that. Yeah, wow, okay. Well, I'm glad I got through and in under 30, so not bad for a tricky Sunday. Let's take a look at the theme. So the roundabouts are what we have as our theme entries here. And so what's going on here is we gotta start from the left. And the left side clue is straightforward. Convenience store is a mart. But then we gotta start using the roundabout to get the rest of them. So Kendo or Aikido are both examples of a martial art. And so we have to use the M-A-R-T and then go around the roundabout to get M-A-R-T-I-A-L-A-R-T, martial art. Then for the one on the across, we have to take the M-A-R-T and the I from the roundabout and the N and go martinet, which I still don't really know. I'll have to look that up. I only know it's correct because then we need the T and the I and the N and the I. And gotta go in reverse to get 5 down. Common vessel for a cosmopolitan, which is a MARTINI martini glass, going upward that way. So that is this set of clues, and now we understand what's going on. Nevertheless, 42 across is butt. 52 down, Mayor Pete is Pete Buttigieg, using BUTTIGIEG. Rear end is buttocks, BUTTOCKS. And then alternatives to zippers on blue jeans are button flies, BUTTON, and then flies going in the upward direction. I've not really heard that as a full phrase. I know what buttons are, and I know that flies are sort of a generic term for fasteners of pants. But I have not heard the full phrase button flies. So now I know, I guess. This one in the middle. We have the Orioles on a scoreboard, or BAL for Baltimore, so that's 68 across. Then going down at 73 down, we have a fancy dress using the BALLGOWN ball gown. They're cast in November, 69, not actors, but ballots, BALLOTS, when we are in an election, when the United States is in an election year. And for 25 down, entertainers' creation at a child's birthday party is balloon animals, BALLOON, and then animal going up, singular, sorry, not plural. And this was the one that sort of led me to particularly this, the reversal of the upward facing part of the roundabout here, that I knew this was going to be balloon animal, and I just didn't know how we were going to get the other letters. This one at 101 across, Wisconsin neighbor is Michigan, MICH there. One of the Obamas going down at 107 down is MICHELLE, Michelle. A brand from Anheuser-Busch is the beer Michelob, MICHELOB, Michelob Ultra being the more popular version of that. And then going up at 72 across, tired old advertising mascot, MICHELINMAN, the Michelin Man. And tired here not to mean exhausted, but well used, but also to do with tires, I think is the aim there. And then we have at 103 a branch and arm of a tree, of a person, or of a organization. 110 down, some expensive suits are ARMANIS, Armani's. 104 across, French brandy is an Armagnac, ARMAGNAC. I assume a cognate word, not a cognate word, but a similarly formed word to a cognac. And then going up at 75 down, we have Armageddon, ARMAGEDDON, the end of the world. So those are our roundabouts. Those are our themed entries. And what else do we have? I have got to look up the SLR. Added can mean a number of things. In this case, it means add a task or a job. I don't know if on vacay has been in the puzzle before. That's pretty fun. I'm not really sure about alt-lit. I have not heard of that, but that's cool. I'm glad I was able to get that in at the end. Didn't know that Dalai Lama translated to ocean monk. That's pretty cool. I have to look up what a martinet is, but word sounds familiar. I just didn't really know what it was. I didn't know that red pandas were known as firefoxes. That's pretty cool. 2020 is very tricky, misleading clue there. We were thinking about vision. It sort of naturally leads us there, but we just want the ratio, I guess. The dividend. Is that what we want? The dividend of 20 divided by 20. Heart on one sleeve, perhaps, is tricky for a tattoo. What else? Gray or yellow is quite a fun clue to age. Things can turn different colors as they age, so that's good. I always forget Lee's jeans, but I did get it eventually. I gotta look up the Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe thing. I think I have a vague recollection of it, but I'll just I'll look it up and put it in the description. I gotta look up exactly what Armagnac is. It must be a particular kind of brandy made from maybe a particular ingredient, but I'm not sure. This is very fun. UCLA shows up in the grid a lot, but I've never seen this clue. What you do when you tour a certain SoCal campus. Phonetically, when you tour the UCLA campus, you see LA. Well, you see a certain part of LA anyway. I didn't know that such a person, John Winthrop, existed, or that he thought he saw a UFO. Cool. What else? Clonal, not a very common word, but you see it more often in like, for instance, recently the phrase monoclonal antibodies. So that's what that is about. Oh, trivia app is what this ended up being. Okay, fine. And this is Priceline. I think that's what Orbitz is a sort of a consumer helping kind of app. But I'll double check that. I don't know Apollo Ono or Apollo Ono, I think. I'll have to look them up as well. This did turn out to be Gertrude Ederle. Like I said, I just read this fact literally last night, but had to get it mostly through the crosses anyway. I don't remember Missile Command as an Atari game. Cool. Spot in the Bible is very, very tricky for this. Seeist, not a clue, not an entry you see very often. They're over 2 feet is very fun for knees. Star Wars title a little bit misleading because we think we want a title of a movie, but we do not. Humming, tricky because that can mean a number of different things. In this case, we don't want the verb but the adjective. I didn't know that it was ceramists and not ceramicists, so that took me a while. I don't really know what this is all about. Maybe the Book of Mormon is divided into acts that are named after people, like the books of the gospel. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. Yeah. We have paired clues, real comedian here and here. Yeah, I think that's it. So, a really great theme, and a good amount of crunch and difficulty in the grid as well. Congratulations again to Oliver Schlossberg on making his New York Times debut, and another great puzzle from Michael Schlossberg. I hope that you were able to stick with me through that bit of resistance at the end there and make it through to the end. If you liked the solve, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know. If you had similar difficulties or were able to get through that top right corner more easily or had trouble with the theme or whatever, let me know how you failed with this one. And if you want to know when I'm posting next, hit the subscribe button and you'll get those notifications. And we'll see you next time on Crosshatch Puzzles. Thanks for joining me. Cheers.